Happy birthday, America. Alright. I guess I'll just wait and see what happens. As per usual. Yay! Alright. I guess I'll just wait and see what happens. As per usual. Yay! God bless America. Alright. I guess I'll just wait and see what happens. As per usual. No teeth. Oh, fuck, wait. I'm just gonna start looping. God bless America. Alright. Oh, shit. Wait. Mute.
There we go.
Alright, so let me go write the instructions in. Oh yeah, I should get a link to that. There we go. Simple enough. Ish. No, I think I'll just like start playing it. Just for now. Oh, yeah. I feel like I'm gonna get hacked, but I'm... Oh, fuck. The sensitivity's high on this. It's my little legs. Alright, we got a custard. I should have said that was PC only. That feels a bit stupid now, because I know there are some mobile ports. But oh well. It's not my fault. I don't like how the cursor isn't hidden. That annoys me. Oh wait, right click also does F. Oh shit. I was watching the Markiplier video yesterday and he screamed every time that jump scare happened. Or like one of the... Oh shit, he's right there. Stop black and tell. Wait, did I miss a custard? No. Did I? I don't know. Let me quickly check. You're not here yet. Alright. Where is he? Oh shit, there's... Oh! Oh hey, a custard. Yeah. Wait. I have dinner here too. So I had tea. Wait, is there any... There's a tiny bit left. I got this cool ass fucking mug. And like the handle, it's shaped like a PlayStation 1 controller and it's so cool. And I got it for €2. €2. It was a little bit dirty, but like all it needed was a little bit of a touch up and then it was fine. And I'm at the end of the path, or not. This way's better, because I said so. I think I've already been down this way, because I swear I like jumped on this tree. Yeah, I have. Alright, well I'm going to take it right then. I haven't been to the right. I prefer it whenever he's close enough to me where I can see him instead of invisible, because, you know, I'd like to see him. Oh wait, this is the cave route. Bingo! Give me that coaster. I don't like... Move! I was gonna say I don't like being in the cave because I can get stuck in it and die, but... Oh, there he is. I feel a bit more safe now. Oh, there he is. He just wants to give me a big hug. And then the bite of 87 happened. Wait. Yeah, no one's here. Oh, shit. Where am I going? Oh, fuck. Watch this. Fucking bee hopping all over your shit, bro. I can't bee hop. I don't know why I said that. Is he faster than me? Oh shit, is he faster than me? Uh-oh. Shit, he's gaining. I heard if you look down whenever he's too close, nothing happens. Right? Shit. Fuck, he's right there. He's not the same speed as me, he's definitely faster a little bit. God, I wish I still had my sec... So this is gonna kill me, but at the same time I get a custard, so like... Oh god. Fuck, I gotta go in the Teletubby house. Oh. No. God, I'm right here too. I didn't think I'd be here already. Oh, and this is the back way as well. I'm fucked. I can hear Nunu in there. Can I go on the top? Oh, I can. Fuck yeah. Alright. Expert tech in progress. I'm not gonna look behind me again because I feel like I'm gonna die. But I'm also tempted to do it anyways. Because I don't know, like, if you have to stare at them that long the entire time, or if it's like a health thing and like it's slowly built up. And the more, like, if I get to a certain point, then I just die. Oh, there might have been one down there. I've already taken this path, no? I have. I'm gonna do a slow U-turn. And I just expertly dodge Tinky because I'm the fucking goat at Slendytubbies. Wait. Let me look down. Oh, it's not even like, you know, the scary thing. It's just they're loud. I've already been down here. Did that tree just wobble? That what? Am I going crazy or am I seeing like? Oh. If I take one path long enough, it'll bring me to the beach. So like, oh, he's still there. Oh god. Wait, I haven't got Poe's custard yet. Yeah, I'm like 2 away. I swear Poe's near here, like down this path. This path as I walk towards nothing. He's definitely down here somewhere. Also, it's like the most unnerving part of this is whenever it's night and it's like the sounds, like the background music. That's what really gets me. I think I'm heading towards the mountains. I need to turn back. Stinky Winky still there? Oh shit, I almost fucking ran into that. Is the path? No. I kinda need to get back onto the path or else I'm just gonna be lost. Is this where Poe is hung? No, this can't be it, right? No, but there is smoke. Oh, I was literally just here a second ago. Alright. I'm just gonna head in a random direction and hope for the best. I'm gonna take this path. Is this where Poe was on? No? Must be the other way then. Oh jeez, I thought that was fucking Kai. Can I crouch? Oh, I can crouch. Why? I don't know. Because there's like no hiding mechanic in the first one. Oh shit. It's like a next spot. It just follows you everywhere. Yeah, the trees are wobbling whenever they like, go into like screen. Look. Wait, let me find another one. Not that one, but... If I swear I've been down this path. The one with the tree and then the bit, like... How do I keep going down this one path? Last time I went right. So I'm gonna go to the left. Right, I actually don't think I've been down this way before. So last time I said I'd go to the right because I thought that was new, but... I think I went down there twice. Wait, there's a custard. Oh wait, so I literally just need to find where Poe was hung, and then the beach, and that's it, and then I won. And I'm at the beach. Holy shit. I have a slight feeling that I was already at Poe's body, but I don't know for certain, so like I might just do like a little check on the beach because I don't know how many custards spawn here. No, you know what? No. I'm at 9 now, so I literally just need one more. And they're right behind me, so like... I wonder what it would look like from the AI's perspective. Would it just be like... backshotting me? See, the trees are wobbling in. It's strange. Well, I went down that path on the way here, so I'll go down this path and hope for something else. And I'm not playing like Slendytubbies 2 because like all the servers were shut down for that. I don't know about Slendytubbies 3, but Slendytubbies 2 is definitely shut down. And there isn't even like a Radman way to do it. It's like they have to connect to the servers. Is that where Poe was on? No, I've just been here before. Oh, he jumps with me in sync? That's kind of cool. Oh, no. Is there any path out here? No. I've probably like missed it 5 times. Like I was on the right path, but then I just take a stupid path somewhere else. I'll just keep walking in this direction until I get back on dirt road. Wait. Come on. Aw. Poe, can you be hung somewhere where I'm closer by? Wait, is this the cave? Yeah, down there's the cave, so let's go down this way. He's still there. I feel bad for him because like he just can't kill me unless I look at him like properly. Oh. Yeah, Poe, I know you're hung, but where? I need to like, find you. Get your coaster so I can be free. What is Tubby Coaster even made of? Wow, I should have went down this path. Because I've been down this way before, but I haven't been down this way, I think. No.
No.
Coasters are driving me crazy. Wait, this has to be where... No, this is where Poe was hung, I swear. No. Because it's like in the center, and then there's the big-ass tree. Oh, I almost fucking stared at them for a sec. Wait, I swear I see the smoke somewhere. Yeah. Oh. I don't know how he hasn't got me yet, because, like... Just look down. Yeah. Alright. No one wants to play. Yay! Great. I think it can handle fantastic, I'm pretty sure. Don't know, I might start off on day. Song's still alive. I'm gonna go check.
That's one death.
Wait.
I can do you a mod. What's up, Phil? Death counter? Nah. Maybe for the Roaring Knight I'll do a death counter. Because I think when I beat the Roaring Knight, I did that in 77 attempts. Target priority. So most turns. No, Phil.
Really?
Yeah, no. Actually, no. Well, I was trying to save up for hypnosis, Austin, but I could never do it, so... I literally just couldn't do it.
I can't stream long
Let's
stream.
defend. Let's just defend.
I have
all
2
of them.
fuse, but I wasn't paying attention, so.
Oh. Okay, shut the fuck up, Life.
You can't watch low stream, it's censored. I don't know if he's gonna like attack me for using the audio. He might just be like that. Who eating grapes?
Hello.
What? No one wants to play Slendytubbies no more. There's like 72 LARPers, yet no one wants to do it. Oh god, people are making BFDI fucking DS shit. Like they think they're Epic Fun Music or whatever his name is. He's the only good one. Wait. Well, I wouldn't want to watch this either, to be honest. It's literally just a black screen. What does he even do? Yeah, I guess I just like sit here, do nothing, preferably. What do I even do? Like, you're gonna watch Right Lobber until stuff works. Where is window capture? Chrome. We're gonna sit down and we're gonna watch some Rat Lobber until someone watches this.
If I had to use one word to describe the visual style of Valve's games, I would say that they're very deliberate. Every prop, every seemingly random little decal sitting on a wall somewhere, and every single model is intricately tested and well thought out before the game makes it anywhere
Or I'll put
near
caption
store
on for you
shelves.
guys.
You've probably
You
heard a
guys were
million
annoying.
times by now about how much Valve took into account the silhouettes of the mercenaries when making Team Fortress 2, and how they're some of the very best character designs in gaming history, which I'm not even going to argue with. That is true. Pretty much no other game has ever been quite as well put together
Turn up
as
on Michael
TF2
ID.
has, and that's just one of the many examples of Valve being insanely meticulous when it comes to their game's visual designs. And that got me thinking. The only thing better than appreciating the high-quality work of some of the most talented artists in the world is seeing what it looks like when you ruin it. I remember being really young and watching these old YouTube videos of people trying to turn Team Fortress 2 into a Nintendo 64 game. It was awesome to see something that was so well designed and so thoughtfully put together be stripped down and turned into a game that could have come out in 1999. And considering I had literally the worst computer ever made when I was a kid, Nintendo 64 graphics honestly weren't even far off from how I actually had to play through these games way back in the day. I had a compact Presario that could barely run Half-Life 2, so getting any Valve game running took an insane amount of effort and tinkering, and by the end of it the game ended up looking like it was made out of Lego bricks or something. But even then, after all that, I was still having a lot of fun. I feel like everyone takes for granted just how easy Source Engine games are to run nowadays. While right now, in 2023, I can run Half-Life 2 at 800 FPS like it's literally nothing, it really wasn't that long ago I was looking up guides on how to get the most frames possible and installing all these weird mods to optimize my games as much as I could so that I could squeeze out maybe 30 FPS. So today, in an effort to reconnect with my potato PC origin story, I'm going to be going through
Oh
a
my god,
handful
welcome. It says someone's watching. Hi. It says 2 concurrent viewers on OBS, I just noticed. Do you wanna, play the game? Oh, they left. Fuck off, bro. Are we being for
Valve's
real?
best looking games, throwing them all into a giant blender, and seeing what mess comes out on the other side. We're going to use console commands, mods, and basically whatever else I need to make some of the most visually appealing games in history look like
Here.
poop. So, obviously I figured there was no better place to start dismantling Valve's catalog than with a game that is pretty much unanimously considered to have a perfect art style. Team Fortress 2. Every single one of this game's assets were made by Valve operating at their fullest possible potential. And while it might not be the most cutting-edge game ever, I do find it very impressive just how much they were able to push the good old Source Engine to its absolute
Is there really no
limit.
one here? Oh
I
my
can't even
God.
imagine the work that goes into turning Half-Life 2, a dystopian first-person shooter, into a 60s spy comic book thing. That's honestly nuts. I think TF2 is a good jumping off point for starting our little journey of making these games look bad, because it's simple, all of its console commands are well documented, and frankly, people have been trying to squeeze extra FPS out of this game since it launched, and because of the insane number of cosmetics Valve has graciously added over the years, it doesn't exactly run smoothly even on modern hardware. Anyways, here's what the game looks like at its highest settings. High model detail and high texture detail give us crisp HD textures and smooth high poly models, and the game generally just looks very cohesive. I know there's a lot of talk online about how much TF2's visual fidelity has degraded over the years, but it's definitely still serviceable, and when you put it at the highest settings, its visual style is just as impressive to me as it was the day it came out. Mostly. Mostly. So, let's get to messing all of that up. The first order of business, obviously, is to just head over to the options menu and crank everything as low as it can possibly go, which honestly ended up changing the graphics a lot more than I thought it would. View models are now buggy and weird, there's a strange seam in the scout's arms, and the players' faces look straight up disturbing. Also, pretty much everything in the game that was previously smooth and round is now visibly polygonal. Environment textures especially became insanely muddy, and it felt like my character was walking around with Vaseline spread all over his face. But we were still a little bit too modern, okay? We were still a little bit too cutting edge. Don't get me wrong, everything did look noticeably worse, and you would probably get made fun of if someone saw you playing at settings this low, but there were still a lot of areas that under the right conditions looked good. Too good. So let's talk about something else and open up the developer console so we can take the graphics down even further. We're first going to issue the command matte viewpoint scale 0.5. Now, you might consider this to be cheating because this command literally just downscales the resolution of everything being rendered on screen, but the problem is, I don't care really, so we're going to use it anyways. The next command is Mat Phong, and while that might sound like the name of a Vietnamese guy, it's actually a setting that breaks down TF2's cartoon shader even more and makes it look like whatever this is. I also used RLOD6, which puts every single object in the game at its lowest possible level of detail. By inputting the commands matpicmip10 and matfullbright1, we crossed the threshold from bad to terrible, and now the game straight up just looks like dirty mud. If you're not familiar, the matfullbright command is the equivalent of dropping a tactical nuke right on top of the game, as it basically just straight up removes any and all lighting that may have been present and makes every single texture show up at 100% brightness. And you know what? It was looking pretty good. Pretty bad. We basically just decimated all the lighting, we put the texture quality as low as it can possibly go, and got rid of any and all fancy shading. And while it was getting awfully close to a PS1 game, I felt like it was missing a little extra cherry on top. See, the player models did look bad, like real bad in comparison to how they used to look, but at the end of the day, they are just nasty versions of the original models, which kind of look good no matter how much you try and degrade them. So, in an effort to fix that, and also lean into this whole PS1 thing, I downloaded the TF2 Old School pack, which instead of just lowering the quality of the models directly, reimagines them as PS1 era characters with low quality, unfiltered textures, and a very low poly count. And that made it come together pretty nicely, I think. It even added some really cool low poly view models for some of the weapons and made this whole little experiment feel much more like a complete retro package, and honestly, that made me pretty happy with what I had. So, did completely destroying TF2's art style make me better at the game? No, not really. But it was kind of impressive just how much the game's unique visual style was still able to shine through even with these insane-ass changes. It honestly felt less like I was playing on a super low-spec version of the game, and more like I was playing on a complete PS1-style remake of Team Fortress 2 or something, which I guess is a testament to just how good the old school model pack actually is. Theoretically, you could make this game look even worse with some more extreme console commands, but I feel like this is pretty much as low as you can drop the game, while also keeping it playable, so it's probably best to call it here. Some of these console commands are cheat protected and won't work in community servers, but for the most part, this is probably the worst playable TF2 experience that you can possibly have.
I'll skateboard.
What does that even say? I couldn't even see your skateboard, you were just A-posing on my screen. You were A-posing and then you no-clipped down into the ground. You look like Nintendo, bro.
Look at me do my little dance. I fill up my pants with band.
Okay, before the section starts, I just want to say I know Gmod is not a Valve game, okay? I know, but it basically is, so shut up. I knew making Gmod look bad would be a pretty interesting experiment, as it's one of the most popular and expandable source engine games ever. I was effectively able to kill two birds with one stone here and make both Garry's Mod and Half-Life 2 look bad at the same time, and as far as I'm aware, those games do run pretty identically to each other anyways. I feel like Garry's Mod isn't a particularly good looking game to begin with. There's definitely some crazy maps that you can download from the workshop that push the limits of the engine, but for the most part, as far as the default presentation of the game goes, it's pretty bog standard. Even on the absolute highest settings, Garry's Mod is a game that has noticeably aged. Some weapons like the default pistol and tool gun are still pretty serviceable and do their job just fine, but others like the gravity gun and the fizz gun are noticeably low quality. As far as the environments, they're pretty okay, and there honestly isn't much to complain about in the graphics department there. They get the job done, but they aren't going to be anything a modern computer couldn't handle. The lowest settings honestly don't really change much. Yeah, the Combine guys are noticeably more yucky, and so are the brick textures on GM Construct, but those were already both pretty yucky to begin with. I wasn't sure where to really start demolishing Gmod's graphics, and I was kind of considering just grabbing a pre-made config file off of Google, but then I remembered that Gmod is weirdly kinda special. See, for whatever reason, there is literally a button in the default Gmod UI dedicated to turning the game's graphics into Minecraft graphics. I really don't know why, but that is insanely useful for the goal of this video, and I'm pretty sure I am the very first person on Earth to actually find that feature helpful in any way. The Minecraftify feature actually gives us a really nice low quality base. Pretty much everything in the game becomes a lot nastier, and I think every texture has been set to Matte Show Low Res Image 1, which is a console override that basically turns the textures into flat colors. Even the flashlight has now just become this little weird pixel thing. I showed my current progress with the game to a friend, and they told me that it still really didn't look that bad, and I think that was because of the lighting. The Minecraftify tool breaks down every texture in the game, but as far as I'm aware, it doesn't do anything to the actual lighting, which meant that it was time to bust out the good old reliable Matte Fulbright 1. After I applied Matte Fulbright, the game came together into a nice little shitty looking package, and I thought that I was probably more than likely reaching the upper limit of how bad I could actually make the game look. I was a little disappointed I didn't get to tinker with the graphics more, but I was also very relieved that Gary's mod made it so easy to make the game look so bad. I decided to try loading up and playing on some classic Gmod maps, and pretty unsurprisingly, they all looked very terrible. GM Big City now looked like a Nintendo 64 racing game, and GM 711 now looked like a map that would belong in a bad PSX-style indie horror game. I don't know about this place, guys. It seems kind of scary as hell. Dude, is that evil Dr. Murder Kleiner? I gotta get out of here. It was a lot cooler than I thought it would be to play Gmod like this, to be honest. I thought that Gmod would be pretty boring when I put the graphics down this low, but seeing stuff like this relatively unchanged water next to the nastiest geometry known to man was a really cool vibe, and it honestly kind of made me nostalgic for when I would actually put my graphics down this low so that I could get this game running on my integrated GPU. I figured it would only be fair to download a well-designed low-poly add-on for Gmod since I did it for TF2, so I grabbed this low-poly weapon pack from the workshop, and that rounded out the whole thing pretty nicely, I think. I also wanted to find a low-poly player model on the workshop, but I couldn't find any good ones at all, so I just had to settle for this low-poly Chad. So I guess I'm low-poly Chad now. I don't know. The weapons were basically just flat textured tactical weapons with realistic tactical animations, but they did look pretty bad, and I think in some cases worse than the monstrosities that were my Half-Life 2 weapons, so I think it was a pretty good addition to the game. Speaking of Half-Life 2, I forgot that I actually have to play through Half-Life 2 like this. I spawned into Half-Life 2, armed with my stupidly low-poly Glock, and popped the first couple of Metro Cops that I saw. It was then that I realized that the low-poly weapons pack I installed did an insane amount of damage, which meant that I was basically just cheating at the game. Which is fine, because after all, I am based Chad, but then I realized that every single transparent texture in Half-Life 2 was no longer transparent, which meant actually that I was not cheating, that the game was really, really hard, and that I was in fact not a based Chad. Playing through Half-Life 2 like this, it sucked. I don't even know what to write for this part. It was just bad. It was a terrible idea that sucked all the way through, and I died like 9 million times, and it looked horrible at every single step of the way. I think like 2.5 hours in, I found myself actually having fun, but then I realized that was because I was using just random weapon mods that I downloaded from the workshop, and I was basically playing the game like it was Doom Eternal or something. Had I actually stuck to the rules and played this like vanilla Half-Life 2, I'll be honest, I probably wouldn't have been able to make it through this mess of a game. But I'm going to pretend like this video is a school presentation or something, and that you are my very angry teacher, and that you're forcing me to say at least one good thing about this entire experience. So, here we go. I guess it was kind of cool to see old Gmod maps that I've played on and enjoyed for over 10 years be rendered out in a completely new style that I'm not used to. I guess it was also kind of cool to see the Half-Life 2 levels for precisely what they are, with no fancy lighting or textures or anything. There were some maps that honestly still looked halfway decent even through all the shit graphics. Ravenholm, for example, I mean it didn't look good, okay, but it still looked like an awesome map that you'd probably think was fun, even if this was the only footage you had ever seen of it. So, is that good? Have I said enough good things about this yet? Yeah? Alright, cool, next game. Source games are interesting in that they all just kind of feel like extremely modded versions of Half-Life 2. And while that's not entirely true, it is most definitely true in the case of Portal. You can straight up just spawn in all the weapons and NPCs from Half-Life 2 using the console, and if you really wanted to, you could also play through most of Half-Life's campaign by just dragging the maps into the game folder. So, messing around with Portal's graphics probably wouldn't be any more exciting than messing around with Half-Life 2's graphics, right? They'd probably use the exact same console commands, and the end result would probably look exactly the same. Well, no. See, for some insane reason that I don't really understand, Nvidia decided it'd be a good idea to promote their fancy new graphics technology with a 16-year-old Valve game. I think the point was to illustrate that they had some new software that could add ray tracing to old games or something, but whatever the reason, that ultimately got us this. a full remaster of the original version of Portal 1, complete with ray tracing. I'll be honest, I never played Portal that much, but the fact that a version of it existed that can make my computer's fans get loud was insane. Seriously, the fact that I was only pulling 30 FPS on a Source Engine game and that the gameplay was noticeably choppy was a very, very strange feeling. I have no idea what is happening on a technical level here, but this game genuinely looks insane. I wasn't even playing the actual game, to keep it real. I was just walking up to windows and shit and staring in awe like a caveman at the insane refractions they had, and also the fact that I was able to very clearly see my own reflection lifelessly staring back at me. Even the portals themselves were casting ray trace light onto other surfaces. I can't even begin to imagine the amount of calculations and algorithms and insane technical stuff happening inside of my computer just so I could play Portal 1. I mean, I knew it was the same crusty old engine from 2004 that powered Half-Life 2, but it felt like I was walking around in a weird interactive tech demo or something. I think the most impressive singular room was this one with these reflective black textures. Every single texture on the wall was dark black, but the room itself was orange. The entire orange glow was emanating from one light source in the middle of the room, being reflected and refracted a million different times all over the walls. And it wasn't like it was pre-rendered or anything. I could literally affect how the orange glow looked by shooting my portal gun at it, or walking in front of the light source, or blocking it off with props. All of the light I saw at any given time was actually happening in real time, and there were a handful of different things I could do to actually affect it myself. But regardless of how much fun I was having walking around like a monkey and throwing random cubes and milk crates and shit at light sources, my computer was starting to get hot. Really hot. So hot that I could smell it. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about, but sometimes when stuff gets really hot, you can kind of like smell the heat coming out of it. That was happening to my computer basically. It was time to cool my computer down and give it a break from rendering all these insane ray trace graphics. It was time to finally break Portal RTX. Weirdly, I found that almost every console command I had gotten used to using just didn't work in Portal RTX. I very nearly gave up on including Portal RTX in this video at all and was pretty much ready to call it quits. But then, as I was sitting there for like 10 minutes and putting random commands from Google into the console, I thought back to Gmod's Minecraftify tool and how basically the entire basis of it was the command mat show low res image 1. I really didn't expect it to work in Portal RTX because literally nothing else did, and at this point it felt like a lost cause. But with a tiny glimmer of hope, I headed over to the console and typed it in anyways. And against all odds, for reasons that I will never, ever know, it actually worked. The first thing I noticed about playing the game like this is that the lady from Portal was now blocking my entire screen. I tried to change the player model so that wouldn't happen, but I think because of the show low res image 1 command, there was genuinely just no way to stop her from rendering right in my face. So I pulled a 145 IQ move and put the game into third person mode. Not the ideal way to play Portal, but pretty much the only option that I have. At first glance, I thought these settings had completely disabled the RTX part of the game, and I was pretty disappointed. But then as I looked around and saw different light sources casting all different sorts of shadows, I realized that not only was RTX still on, but that it was on the Ultra setting. I mentioned earlier in the Gmod section of the video that I like the visual juxtaposition of normal realistic water next to bad looking textures, and playing through Portal RTX like this took that feeling and turned it up as high as it possibly could go. This was seriously, no exaggeration, PS1 tier textures sitting right next to and being affected by the most cutting edge technology in gaming. Technology so advanced that I still was just barely reaching 60 FPS, even with the textures looking like Metal Gear Solid 1. I noticed that because every single transparent texture in the game was no longer transparent, a lot of light sources were completely broken. Pretty much any light source behind glass or a grate or any kind of transparent object now just didn't work at all, which made the lighting on some levels way too dark. The lighting was actually still there, it was just stuck behind a completely opaque texture, and because lighting is real time and not pre-baked, it didn't affect the level in any way. This also applies to the portals themselves, so you can no longer see through portals, which some might argue is one of the most important parts of playing Portal. In a way, playing the game this way made me want to experiment with the fancy ray tracing even more than usual. I wanted to see what was affected by it and what wasn't. From what I could tell, every light source was still being ray traced, but kind of obviously, objects no longer had reflections because they no longer had textures. I think the closest thing you could even compare this experience to is maybe Half-Life 1 RTX, and even then, I'm pretty sure the ray tracing in this game is far more sophisticated than that. Did playing to the game like this make me enjoy Portal for what it is? No. My entire session basically just consisted of me spawning a bunch of melons and Half-Life 2 jeeps and stuff and seeing how they affected the game's real-time lighting. And then I would switch between poop graphics and good graphics just to see how much more laggy the game got. Which actually led me to realize that playing the game like this would probably be a pretty good compromise for anyone that doesn't have a super advanced expensive graphics card. Assuming you have an older GPU that's actually capable of ray tracing, playing the game with low-res textures is a good middle ground. You get the same exact fancy real-time lighting, but your FPS isn't bogged down by the 4K Ultra HD textures or whatever. If spawning hundreds of low-poly PS1-looking melons so you can block off a real-time light source sounds like a fun time to you, then by all means, give this a try. If not, then shut up. Next up we have Left 4 Dead 2. Making this game look bad should be a piece of cake, as it seems like most of the community spends their time trying to make this game look like garbage anyways. Left 4 Dead 2 is special because, like Gmod, it also has a workshop, and that should lead to some more interesting ways to lower the game's visual quality beyond just fooling around with console commands. This series is one of the first games that Valve really wanted to succeed in the console market, and because of that, it's one of their most polished franchises. So, it should be pretty fun to see how much we can completely strip away that 7th generation console polish. I've always thought that while Left 4 Dead 2 might not have the super unique art style that TF2 does, it's probably the best looking Source Engine game in terms of raw graphics and realism. And even on the lowest settings, that shines through pretty clearly. Honestly, just looking at how good the game looked, even on low, I knew that the only way to tackle making this game look bad would be to stop holding back and go hard in the paint. Really hard in the paint. So, I skipped any and all console commands entirely and headed over to the workshop where I found what I thought would be the holy grail of making Left 4 Dead 2 look bad. The low-end FPS boost pack. A compilation of well over 15 mods put together to achieve one simple goal: making the game run better by any means necessary. I wasn't super sure what to expect downloading and installing this add-on, but I thought to myself, how bad could this possibly be? I figured, honestly, it'd probably look a little something like this, Low resolution, some missing shaders, maybe a few janky textures, and a generally grimier, yet still recognizable, Left 4 Dead experience. I even had a backup list of console commands ready just in case it wasn't enough, but honestly, nothing prepared me for what the game looked like when I finally opened it back up.
Well, I installed a mod for the game, but now it looks really bad. All the models are Roblox, and they fucking look like shit. Now the game looks like poop, and I'm trying to do a thing. Man, this game looks straight up like butt, and all the models are the fucking same. Game looks like shit.
It didn't even look like Left 4 Dead anymore. It looked like RuneScape or something. Every single survivor was replaced with this horrifying ass little block creature, and so was every single infected. Funnily enough, the highest poly character in the entire game was now the pilot, who I'm pretty sure appears for like 2 seconds in the actual campaign. It's hard to overstate just how much this mod demolished the game's graphics. Every single texture in the game was replaced with a flat color 4x4 image, and every single model, even minor ones, were replaced with a low poly, untextured version. I could go through and show you every single prop in the game to try and find the silliest one, but I think none of them would be as hilarious as just showing you what the actual weapons look like. I honestly thought that they would just be super disgusting versions of the actual weapon models, but these seem to have actually been handmade by whoever made this mod, which is honestly pretty charming. In fact, I think pretty much every model in this pack was made by hand, and it wasn't a simple case of putting the settings down as low as they can go. Someone actually sat down, opened up Blender or something, and remade each and every asset by hand, which is probably, I think that's actually a sign of debilitating mental sickness, if you can believe that. I think the best way to describe the game in this state is that it's technically playable. You could technically, theoretically play through the entire game like this, but I think if you're a regular human person, pretty much every instinct you've ever had would tell you to not do that. Special infected become way harder to spot with this installed, but I guess they're really not that big of a problem. For the most part, your brain can understand that the blocky guy with a big arm is a charger, and that the big fat blocky guy is a boomer. The jockey, smoker, and spitter are a little less easy to distinguish, but it's not enough to make the game unplayable. I will say, while the game did look completely horrible, this was an actual mod pack made for an actual reason, and that was to play Left 4 Dead 2 with the best FPS possible. So, it's actually surprisingly playable, and not just a glitchy mess of textures like Gary's mod and TF2 were. So, why did I do any of this? What did I learn by taking 4 perfectly good games and turning them into complete dog water? I don't know. Is there even a lesson to take away from this video? I think the fact that Source is so customizable and that it's even possible to get it looking this bad is part of the reason people from all over the world with a myriad of different computers still play Source games even to this day. I know for sure that back when I was a young baby ratlobber, if I had a super top-of-the-line computer that could play all the newest games, there's a good chance I never would have gotten into Source games at all, which is kind of a scary idea. Either way, my official recommendation is that you never do any of the stunts performed in this video. I'm a trained professional. I'm trained at making Source games look like poop or whatever. I don't know. Thanks for watching. I've been Ratlobber. Peace.
Hey, I'm Nathan Drake. If you're the adventurous type like me, then get in on
To most people, the original Xbox version of Half-Life 2 is nothing more than a punchline. A sick joke, a cruel abomination created with the sole purpose of being laughed at for having blurry textures every single day of its miserable existence. It looks god-awful, it plays even worse than it looks, and it runs at like 6 FPS on a good day. While it's definitely an impressive technological achievement, nobody ever really seems to talk about it outside of making fun of how bad it is, which is fair, but this Dogwater port has always been very special to me, and probably literally no one else. The original Xbox version of Half-Life 2 was not only my very first hands-on experience with the Source engine, it was also one of the very first video games I ever played, and I loved every second of it. Bad textures and low frame rate be damned. I didn't even know what frame rate was. I just knew that my mom's computer would never in a million years run Half-Life 2, but that my trusty old Xbox certainly would. A short time later, a brand spanking new video game called Gary's Mod began to flood YouTube.com, and to baby me, it looked like the coolest shit ever. It had physics, it had ragdolls, it had the guy from Halo.
Hey, what's up? I'm the guy from Halo.
It had basically everything from every video game ever made, and you could make dumbass little movies with it. And as if all of that wasn't already good enough, according to the internet, it was free. All you needed was your own copy of Half-Life 2. So I took my happy ass down to the local game store and asked the man working there how a fine young gentleman such as myself would go about putting Gary's Mod into my copy of the game. He looked at me like I was a freak, laughed, and said, it's not really how it works, you're probably gonna have to buy a computer. I distinctly remember arguing with the poor man and insisting that it was possible, and then I probably started crying or something, or yelling, or doing some kind of annoying-ass little kid thing when I realized he was right. But as it turns out, I wasn't exactly wrong about Gary's Mod being possible in the original Xbox. I was just very, very ahead of my time. In the past few years, people have somehow managed to mod the original Xbox version of Half-Life 2, which is something I didn't even think was possible. It started off pretty basic at first and wasn't much to look at unless you were a big nerd who was into that sort of thing, but recently it's become pretty sophisticated and even started to form its own little community that is pretty reminiscent of the early days of Gary's Mod. So I thought it'd be fun to take a look at the alternate good timeline where Gary's Mod was somehow put on the original Xbox and explore the weird-ass mods people have been making for what is undeniably the worst port of one of the greatest video games ever. So Half-Life 2 Xbox modding has been going on for roughly 4 years now, with tons of different people trying out weird stuff, building and releasing their own tools made specifically for Xbox Source Engine modding, and theorizing on just how far it can actually be taken. The project that interested me the most was one led by Billy Blueberry, who has been uploading their work to YouTube for quite some time now, with a pretty sizable portion of it being somewhat Gmod adjacent. There's crusty ports of old Gmod maps, random Half-Life 2 mods they managed to get running, and just a general wide range of experimentation by a whole team of people trying to figure out what works and what does not, all running on actual Xbox hardware. So I asked the team actually making this stuff to throw together a little sample build just to see how close we've actually gotten to Gary's Mod on the Xbox before I try out my own experiment. So without any further ado, I present to you what they have dubbed the Half-Life 2 Rat Lobber Special. From the menu, you probably wouldn't notice anything too weird about this copy of Half-Life 2, but booting up Chapter 1 is where shit gets real. Normally, clicking on this would take you directly to intro.bsp, which is the map where G-Man gets all in your face and starts doing ASMR tingles on you.